So you may be wondering what has occurred in the last moments while we went after the little wardrobe change.
I don't have.
Oh, you don't have? Well,
I don't
then
have
I'll
the
tell
information.
them. Well, here at Sunday Assembly, we like to turn on there we go.
This one works.
Got it?
Yeah.
All right.
Good.
We'll tell them that here at Sunday Assembly, we like to be radically inclusive. And therefore, to welcome our guest today, we decided we should dress appropriately. So we'd like to introduce William Morrison and Kellog. Together they are leading the Los Angeles chapter of the Satanic Temple. They're here to present for us today how Satan brings us closer to a more just and compassionate world. Welcome, William and Allie.
Thanks for having us.
Yes. We are from the Satanic Temple. So,
Here we go.
why Satan? We are a non-theistic religion, so that beckons the question, why did we choose Satan as our mascot? Our mission mirrors that which Lucifer undertook in the Bible, to rebel against harmful, bigoted authority that encroaches on people's personal rights and choices.
We'll show it. We don't believe in Santa Claus. But if you take the letters, Santa, and rearrange them, I'm just saying.
So these are the 7 tenets of our temple. One should strive to act with compassion and empathy towards all creatures in accordance with reason.
Okay. The struggle for justice is an ongoing and necessary pursuit that should prevail over laws and institutions.
One's body is inviolable, subject to one's own will alone.
The freedoms of others should be respected, including the freedom to offend. To willfully and unjustly encroach upon the freedoms of another is to forgo your own.
Beliefs should conform to our best scientific understanding of the world. We should take care never to distort scientific facts to fit our beliefs.
People are fallible. If we make a mistake, we should do our best to rectify it and resolve any harm that may have been caused.
Lastly, every tenet is a guiding principle designed to inspire nobility in action and thought. The spirit of compassion, wisdom, and justice should always prevail over the written word, the written and spoken word. So I'm going to talk about a kind of crash course history on Satan, because it's actually something most people don't know quite a bit about. So this is one of the things T.S.T. wants to highlight, that today's image and idea of Satan is one that has been bastardized by the church and the government, as well as pop culture for hundreds of years, although we see the most dramatic alterations made since as recently as the 19th century. Satan is known in the Bible as Lucifer, as an angel created by God. He witnessed God's wrath firsthand, which compelled Lucifer to question God's authority. God consequentially banished Lucifer and the other angels who joined Lucifer in challenging God and cast them out of heaven. This is where interpretations of the story deviate. Some argue that Lucifer challenged him because he is egotistical and prideful. We believe God felt threatened by having his authority questioned and reacted accordingly. There's a tremendous number of misconceptions about Satan circulated as truth. A big one is his appearance. He's often depicted as either being in the form of the Baphomet or as a red devil with a pitchfork. These ideas borrow phenotypic elements like the goat's head or wings from animal-worshipping religions like paganism that Christianity deemed an abomination. The only physical description of Lucifer in the Bible is as a snake in the Garden of Eden who provokes Eve to bite from an apple from the tree of knowledge. Although now several biblical scholars are saying that the snake was actually not Satan, it was another entity. Although Satan is reported as power-hungry, destructive, and violent, the Bible actually says quite the contrary. This is an interesting statistic to me. In the Bible, God is responsible for 2,476,633 deaths, where Satan is responsible for 4 of them, including one of the most infamous stories in the Bible about Job's son, where they were killed at the commanding order of God. He told his angels to kill these people. In the Old Testament, God controlled all of the events and was responsible for creation and destruction, good and evil, suffering and joy. This idea of dualism became confusing for many who couldn't understand how such suffering in the world could be created by an all-loving God. This confusion laid the grounds for Satanism. Hollywood has been probably the church's best friend in terms of brewing satanic anxiety. In the 1960s, horror films instilled vivid imagery and fear of the devil into the hearts of viewers, most notably films like Rosemary's Baby and The Exorcist. Fear of Satan became a lucrative endeavor, and at the same time of these two films' release, the Church of Satan was established. So, although we are often tied and affiliated with the Church of Satan, we have no affiliation with them whatsoever as an organization. They are completely different from us.
And Anton LaVeyan is not my brother.
Second cousin twice removed. So it was founded by Anton LaVeyan, who penned the Satanic Bible, if anyone's familiar with that book. He held weekly congregations at his infamous Black House in the Haight-Ashbury district of San Francisco, which is arguably the birthplace of American counterculture. They originally referred to themselves as the Order of the Trapezoid. He would charge $2 for people to come and hear him talk. He had these weekly congregations, and there was a day where one of his friends went up to him and said, hey, if you actually started an official religion, you could make a ton of money doing this. And thus, the Church of Satan was born. They amassed a huge celebrity following, which helped with their notoriety. Some other members include Sammy Davis Jr., Jane Mansfield, Marilyn Manson, and Liberace, to name a few. So the Satanic Panic, oh my goodness. Classic. So the Satanic Panic of the 80s and 90s cultivated mass hysteria and fear of anything remotely related to Satan, paganism, or anything deemed ungodly. It was birthed through a renewed culture of xenophobia in America and encouraged total condemnation of anything non-Christian. Even subcultural elements like certain types of music and art were also condemned. On a near daily basis, crimes of any nature were blamed on Satanists, whether or not those claims had any merit. The panic also has a large body count of its own, responsible for hundreds of deaths and false imprisonments around the world. Most notably is the West Memphis 3, if anyone's familiar with that story. There's a great couple of documentaries on that. It was 3 teenage boys in West Memphis, Arkansas, who were blamed for the murder of 3 little boys, even though there was no DNA evidence linking them to the actual crime scene or the crime. They were sort of vilified because they were outcasts in this little community. They wore all black, they were interested in paganism, they listened to Black Sabbath and Metallica, and this really echoes and mirrors the Salem witch trials that happened hundreds of years before. To me, there's no distinction between the two. I think it's just history repeating itself there. Very quickly, hell is also something, the idea of hell is something that a lot of people don't really know about. There's no mention of hell in the Bible, but there is a place that it's based off of. Called Gehenna. So in Jerusalem, in the Valley of Hinnom, there is a giant ditch called Gehenna. It's referenced in the book of Matthew and Mark, chapter 9, verse 47. It was originally used by the ancient Israelites, where they sacrificed and burnt children for their Canaanite god Molech. After a while, God said that this place was unclean and there shouldn't be any pagan practices, so they turned it into a landfill, essentially, where they burnt the city's trash. All of that smell carried into Jerusalem, and it was symbolically translated later on into this idea of hell or Gehenna. It was later translated into hell around 1200 AD. So
Satan, the ultimate rebel, I guess the backstory that Ali just gave you is really just to outline the fact that Satanism is a construct that was created by people in power, as a tool of oppression, really. So with us, we've chosen the metaphor as Satan because to us he does represent the ultimate rebel, the outsider. So we're taking a tool that was used to oppress the faithful and co-opting it and using it to promote positive change. That's what really the core of T.S.T. is about. So when we're up against those who would imagine this country as a theocracy, those who would tell us what we should or shouldn't do, what we should think, what we should do with our bodies, the moniker Satanist tends to whip our opponents into like a crazy frenzy. And, we embrace what other people fear. And what happens when we do that is it takes the power away from the people that are trying to oppress us. That's really how we stand on that.
Great. We have a video to play if someone could help us out with that.
Yeah, this is some of our actions that you might have seen on the television.
World mock me for telling you that there is a statue to Lucifer that has been erected last Saturday in Detroit And Time magazine says it's really not that big of a deal. Let me tell you, it is a big deal. God will not be mocked on his own land by his own people. And at the same time, on Monday, they remove his words in Oklahoma in the middle of the night.
After the Supreme Court's week of high-profile decisions, Oklahoma's High Court made a stir of its own in a ruling that had a group of self-proclaimed Satanists and an ordained Baptist minister celebrating. The Oklahoma Supreme Court ruled Tuesday that the state must remove a 6-foot-tall granite monument of the Ten Commandments from its capital because it violates the state's constitutional ban against the use of public funds or property to benefit a religion.
So this is Baphomet.
This is Baphomet.
It's a pretty impressive structure. Why is it important for the Satanic Temple to have this monument at all?
It's important for us to have this monument only because there's other monuments on public grounds. If there's a single monument representing a single religious point of view, it gives the impression that there's government endorsement of a single view.
Now wait, I'm confused. Do you believe that people don't understand
Absolutely.
what you are?
Yes.
What you stand for?
Absolutely. There is deep misunderstanding about Satanism as a religion in all of its various forms because Satanism and the term satanic has been used as a political tool to demonize individuals who've rebelled against systems of authority and power.
Chief of Police. He claims to be a cop, but I don't see a badge.
No badge.
Glory be to the Father, and to the Son, and to the Holy Spirit, as it was in the beginning, is now, and ever.
I got a copy of the Constitution in my police car. Would you like to see it?
DeCiccio says the city is trying too hard to be all-inclusive. He believes the Satanists are just trying to make a scene.
I think it's just a dumb idea. We do not legally have to do this. Just have a message that reason should come above all things, and all decisions should be made from a non-agnostic standpoint. We're not here to be offensive, we're just here to participate.
We are seeking collaborators, individuals for a visionary satanic alliance. We have to do more when the belief in archaic illusions of an ancient religion is a mandatory requirement for our elected representatives. We have to do more when our government determines our sexuality for us. We have to do more when children are denied the home of loving parents because the genders of their partner. We have to do more when women are denied access to reproductive health care and vilified as murderers by those selected to represent them in the government. The Word of God has been evoked time and time again to justify opposition to civil rights movements, to squash women's liberation, to target medical treatment for HIV, and end same-sex marriage. That is not religious freedom.
So that gives you a good cross-section of what's been going on with T.S.T. nationally, and we have chapters all over the country now. Our LA mission, we're just getting started in LA. We're just starting this chapter out. So our core mission, firstly, is diversity. We want to, we really want to speak to and have a voice for all of the diverse ethnic landscape in Los Angeles. That's super important to us. We've accomplished that already, and it's something we just need to grow at this point. How it works, our chapter is completely democratic, so the people in our chapter are the ones who come up with the ideas for protests or things that we want to go out and take action against, and it all comes down to a democratic vote. That's how we work. One of our first major activities is that we want to infiltrate the private and public prison system in California. We want to provide outreach and support for secular prisoners. I think, as most people know, the prison system is very much run like a theocracy, and I don't really think there's a lot of options for secular prisoners. So we're going to show you another slide here, and you'll see that we're both committed to public service and individual liberty, much like yourselves. What's that? Okay. Go ahead.
So in the Detroit chapter, primarily, Vice is actually currently doing a documentary on our work with women's reproductive rights. They've done a lot of undercover work where they've gone to abortion clinics and figured out the false medical claims that they tell women who are seeking an abortion, including that all women that get abortions get breast cancer at some point in their lives.
So the Arizona City Council action, the council always starts with a prayer. So we asked to be included in that and start the council with a satanic invocation. The result of that was they opted for a moment of silence. So since then, they've actually reinstated the prayer, but the gentleman, Stu DeHaan, that was up there, who just, by the way, passed the federal bar, the next thing will happen now is we will take them to court. It will be a First Amendment fight, and we will certainly win it.
As you saw in the video, we had the 10 Commandments removed from Oklahoma, and we put up a Baphomet statue. We also, at the Michigan State grounds, had a snaketivity scene put up in contrast to the nativity scene. It's a cross with a snake. It says, "Knowledge is power."
So just quickly, one of my favorite actions was our New Orleans chapter started to fill potholes in the road and just work on public infrastructure, and the city went and inspected their work. I guess they were doing it right. They gave them a permit to continue doing it. So we got a bunch of Satanists fixing the roads in Louisiana.
We have Socks for Satan in St. Louis. It's just socks for homeless people. And then last weekend, some of us were in San Francisco protesting ISSTD, which is an organization of psychologists who are kind of quacks. They have ideas like that children with autism don't actually have autism. They're actually being molested by Satanists and are possessed by the demons. And they're responsible. One of the practitioners who's involved there, who I think she actually just won their Lifetime Achievement Award a few days ago, is responsible for the death of 8-year-old Jude Mira, an autistic boy. They convinced his mother that he wasn't actually autistic, he was being molested by Satanists, which was the explanation for his behavior. So, hail Satan.
So just to wrap it up really quickly, obviously we're not armchair activists, that's not our style. I guess the thing that's unique about T.S.T. is, we really do put ourselves on the line. We take risks. We risk being ostracized by our communities and also even by our families. And, that's really what we're all about. We're a little small snippet of it. Love to talk to you about it some more. And we are actively looking, for members in the LA chapter. So if anybody's interested, let us know. Thank you.